Okay. Annunciation Latin class, Capitulum Decem. Whoop, Alex is here. Let me add him. Bestiae et homines, and we're going to do the Grammatica Latina section. Hopefully we can put chapter 10 to bed here. This seems to be the chapter that has dragged on for one reason or another, which isn't too surprising given the holidays. But anyway, let us begin with the Oratio Initialis. In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum. Benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen. So, what are we going to do tonight? Well, we'll look at the Quomodo dicitur, Capitulum Decem, Conjugationis Verborum, Infinitiva, vox activa et passiva, infinitivus activum est novum. This is something new. You haven't really seen it before, but it's not too difficult. Et declinatio tertia. So, Felicem nativitatem Christi tibi or vobis opto. So, tibi or vobis, depending upon how many are there. And then bonum or vel Faustum annum novi, excuse me. Bonum vel Faustum annum novum tibi or vobis opto. Happy New Year. So, remember that.
Right, what's vel Faustum?
It'd be like fortunate or lucky. The Romans really didn't say marry something or other. Okay, that's kind of an English word. They would wish something. Felicem is not so much a merry as a lucky or fortunate. Faustum is similar in definition. Lucky, fortunate, good favor. Word like that. Grammatica Latina. Non multa grammatica nova, sed multa verba nova ex declinatione tertia. Multi infinitivi, vox activa et passiva. No, not like Faust at all. Well, actually, it's interesting that, you know, Faustum means fortunate. So I don't know if, can we consider Faust fortunate? I believe in the end he repented, right? If I remember the story, and escaped hell. So maybe fortunate is right, an appropriate name for him. Anyway, multa verba de vivis, vivus, vivis, animalibus, etc. Verba, we're going to able, can, want, wish, and need. So we're kind of reviewing that which we saw last time. Potest, possunt. I like to translate that or think of that as able to. The reason is you're going to see constructions of the form potest videre. So he, she, it is able to see. So if you make that just can, which you can do, and you can say he can see, which is a legitimate translation or understanding. But when you see videre, you should think to see. And so that's why I like able, because that naturally follows the infinitive in English. However you want to do it. And then, of course, possunt videre, they are able to see. Okay. And the same rule applies for direct objects in the accusativus. And we'll see more examples of this in a minute. Any questions there? Okay. So potest et infinitivus et accusativus is of the form he, she, it is able to something. Okay. And so potest vira pilum, he or she is able to see the ball. Potest vira pilum. He, she, I guess it, is able to see the ball. So notice ball in modo accusativo, just like a regular sentence. Possunt plus possunt et infinitivus et accusativus, same form. Possunt vira pilum, they are able to see the ball. Now, I want to mention one interesting thing here. Pilla is ball. Pilum is a spear. So don't confuse your pillas with your pilums, because if you're asking somebody to throw you the ball, you wouldn't want to get a spear instead.
Just depends on the context.
Well, if they're throwing a spear at you, you may have to duck.
No, I mean in knowing which word, which meaning you're talking about.
No, pilla, short eye, pilum, long eye.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you're Laura, who makes them both long.
Well, I'm yeah, I agree with Laura.
This is true. Good point. If there's no macrons or, well, basically macrons, because the emphasis, the accent is on the second syllable in any case. So if you just read PI accent LA, you wouldn't know whether it was a ball or a spear. So yes, you're quite right. It would depend on the context.
Thanks, Laura.
So I was thinking more in speech-wise than written. Vult volunt. Now, this, well, okay, I guess I should say potest possunt is an irregular verb. It follows pot and then the to be. So possum, potes for s, potest for he, she, they, possumus, positus, and possunt. So I guess this is actually an irregular one. But vult volunt is also another irregular verb. So means to wish, want, or desire. Okay. And it forms pretty much the same pattern as potest, possunt. Vult et infinitivus, he, she, it wants to do something. Vult videra, he, she, it wants to see. Volunt and the infinitivus, they want to. So possunt videra, they want to see. And again, if there's a direct, if they want to see the ball, possunt videra pilum, they want to see the ball.
Michael?
Yeah.
So it can mean wills, right? Volt. All right. Well, let me tell you what I'm referring to. Pope Urban II, when he met with the Council of Nobles in 1096 to consider the First Crusade, he famously said Deus vult or Deus lo vult. And the translation is God wills it.
Yeah, I guess in the sense of wish, want, desire.
Anyway, it's a very famous expression.
Yeah.
It's gone down through history, and sometimes famous expressions can help you remember Latin words.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and that's true. Deo volante is God willing. So yeah, it can be will. Willing as in, okay. I guess what I want to try and distinguish is there's two, God has two kinds of wills. There is an active will and a permissive will. Okay. And so this is more of a permissive will as opposed to a direct will, shall we say, because it expresses a desire, if you wish. So yeah, let's throw in will. I like that now that I think about it. Posson vira, is the want implied in the infinitive? Well, okay. Posson vira is they are able to see. There is no want there.
Well, you have want in your thing underneath the volunt plus.
Oh, good grief.
You had me confused. It's going to be easy to do tonight. So
thanks, Teresa.
Teresa, I don't see what you're talking about. It says the right there. Wow. Okay. That was
that was a cut and paste error.
Well, copy and paste, not cut.
Copy and paste.
Computer's fault.
What?
It's all the computer's fault.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sorry, no, the want is in the non-infinitive verb in all of these. Vult et infinitivus et accusativus. So vult vira pilum, wants to see the ball. Volant vira pilum, they want to see the ball. And lastly, necesse est, it is necessary or must. Okay. It's much stronger than volunt, vult or volunt. It is necessary. Okay. So necesse est et infinitivus. It is necessary to whatever the verb, the infinitive. Necesse est videre, sorry. It is necessary to see. And again, same rules apply to the direct objects. Necesse est vira pilum. Pilum. It is necessary. Yep. Well, pilum works too. It is necessary to see the spear if it's headed your way. Necesse est vira.
The difference is this is impersonal.
Yes, this is impersonal in the sense that, this is, I don't know, maybe I've worked at NASA too long. This is a requirement. Okay. This is not a desirement. Yeah. Have you ever heard the term desirement?
I have now.
Yeah. A desirement. Yeah, I guess that comes from the space and NASA stuff. A desirement means something highly desirable to be done. Okay. For example, there's something broken on the spacecraft and it's not necessary for flight. Non necesse est. But it is very desirable to fix it or add it or make this change or whatever, silly example is a desirement might be fuzzy dice hanging from your rear view mirror. Fuzzy dice do not make the car run any better, presumably do not make you any better a driver, but so intelligisne. You disagree that the fuzzy dice does make the car drive better? Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. I've never had fuzzy dice on my mirror, so I really can't say. All right, we're going to come back to these because right now these are all infinitivus vox activus, an infinitive active voice. We're going to see the same constructions with the passive voice infinitives. And the passive voice infinitives are really new in this section, this chapter 10. But I want to talk about verba Latina. Recordamini, verba Latina habent vocem, modum, temporum, et person. I think that needs to be a noun. There we go. Vox activa, ot passiva, active passive voice. Modus indicativus, subjunctivus, imperativus, ot infinitivus. All right. We've had the indicative, just plain straight out statement. We've had the imperative, you know, veni, come. And we have seen, and we've also had the infinitives. Tempus, praesens is all we've had. We've not had the perfect and all the others. Persona, prima, and really tertia, singularis aut pluralis. We really haven't, we have had the second person in the imperative, but we really haven't seen very much of the first and second persons. They've really been mostly third. And I wanted to start introducing them to sort of give you a heads up. They are not that difficult. We're going to get more of these as we progress into the later chapters. So I thought I would talk about them now. The neat thing about it is all you got to remember is ost mus tissent. O-S-T mus tissent. Now, you've already seen third person, persona tertia, the ending is T, okay? So you take radix et litera vocalis et finalis. So you take the root, you take the vowel, and then you take the final ending. And these are the same across all four conjugations, okay? So in a way, you memorize one, you got the other, within reason. Questio? No? Okay. And this is active, present, indicative. You've also had vox passiva. And we saw there that we had a tour or an intour, okay? The endings are similar across the board. You'll notice you have an R, an ris, a tour, a moor, a mini. I don't know why a mini is in there. I have no idea. And then an intour. So again, 6 endings, but they work across all 4 conjugations. I've highlighted in the red the ones that you've had. Okay. You should have those pretty well down by now. And then the passive ones. But keep this around, you know, keep it handy, study it when you get a chance. Do the work that's in the book first. Okay. Don't misunderstand me. But it's I'm going to try and inject more and more Latin into the lesson itself. And so, for example, Recordamini. Anybody want to take a stab at what that means?
To be recorded.
No.
Remember this.
Yes.
Well, that's the second person plural. So it's, you are recorded.
I would say it
That's
means,
like y'all record it.
yeah,
Y'all
no,
remember.
it means remember.
All right, you all remember. You
Yes.
all remembered.
Yes. Recordor, sorry, is a deponent verb. And so,
Oh boy, here we go.
yep. So it is passive voice, and there you see it down here. Whoops, there we go. This guy down here. Okay. So you'll see little bits like that. So that's why I kind of like to ease everybody into it. So far in the Familia Romana, they're telling a story. And so the story can be narrated such that the action is pretty much in the third person. There were some imperatives in the second person that we've seen. So, but we'll see more of the first person and second person as we go along. So that's, so that's the vox passiva. Modus imperativus. As I said, we've had it's the one second person verb form we've had. So laudare, laudo, laudare, lauda, vel, laudate, pluralis, habe, habete, habe, singularis, habete, pluralis. Duc, ducite. Now, in most of the third declension non-I stem words that have a C in there, a lot of them drop the E. Okay. So it's not duce, it is just duc. Something you'll just have to kind of figure out. And if you're reading it, it doesn't really, no big deal. Tertia, cape, capite, quarta, audi, et audite. Singularis, radix, et littera vocalis, a, e, e. So, pluralis, radix, et littera vocalis, et te. Laudate, habete. An I stem or not. Okay. See, I don't think, let me see, did I go in? No, didn't go in the second. Okay. An I stem verb, let me jump up to here. It's an ERE verb. Oh, okay. Let me. If you just saw the first person singular, capio and audio, okay. If you didn't know which conjugation it belonged to, you wouldn't know whether it's third or fourth. So you need to know what the infinitive form is. And if it is an ERE verb and its first person is capio, then that's called an I stem, okay? And that is important because you use the I, really the only difference is down here, capiunt, okay? Capio, capis, capit, capimus, capitis, capiunt. So you got an extra I in there. So,
But Michael,
yeah.
Really the bottom line is, if you're looking at vocabulary and it just lists the infinitive, there's no way to know the difference between the ERE for the ducere and capere. You just have to learn. You have to memorize it.
Well, this is why you need the four principal parts of the verb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
We talked about it in the previous class, but for the benefit of those who weren't here 2 years ago. Let me hold up. Scriba Let's look at capio. Oh, yeah, well, all right, capio. Well, it's going to be a kind of a huge verb. See, capio, cepe, captum. Up here it tells its third conjugation. You need to know the 4 parts. First part is present, first person, singular. The second part is technically the infinitive. Now, some dictionaries leave it out. Then the perfect storm, the perfect form. So capio, I take, cepi, I have taken, and then captum, which is the perfect participle. We have not explored these other guys out here. We'll get to that later on in the Familia Romana. But yes, Alex is quite right.
So what you may want to do is take ducere and contrast that with capere to see those 4 parts, how they differ.
Yes. Oh, okay. Good plan. Let's pull them up. So duco, which is the name of a adhesive. So duco, duxi, ductum, and it is again a third. Oh, here, see, you can look at the whole conjugation. See, duco, ducis, ducit, ducimus, ducitis, ducunt. There is no io in there. Whereas if we go to capio, and go to conjugation, we see capio in the first person. The other ones are the same. Capus, capit, capimus, capitis are all the same as non-I stem, but then you have the capiunt, which is
Okay, so Michael, let me ask you this. Okay, so we've got cepi and we've got duxi. Do either one of those, let's say you knew nothing about either of these verbs other than that's the perfect for each one. Is there anything in those endings that tips you off? For example, are you unlikely to have an X in an I stem verb as you do with duxi? You follow what I'm
I see
saying?
what you're saying.
Yeah, is there something in the perfect that tips you off as to whether or not? So you got cepi and you got duxi. And I'm just wondering whether the AP, the cepi that tips you off and the duxi tips you off. You're not likely to see duxi for an I stem.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't.
Okay. Oh, Michael, what Alex is asking is if we didn't know the first person singular part of the verb is, or maybe the third person plural. You can also use the third person plural. Either one works. But usually in the dictionary, they start with a first person singular. Is there some way to know whether it is an I stem or not? And the answer is no. You have to either know the first person singular or the third person plural, because that's where the differences lie. Okay. Actually, let's see. Oh, I almost don't want to get into this, but all right, you would notice it in some of the other tenses, okay, that we have not had, but not the perfect tense, okay?
Okay, but when I'm reading the story, it's like I'm trying to figure out, is this a ERE verb or with a short I or long I? Like audere and then capere. I mean,
Yeah, audire, yeah. Yeah, and again, if you just have audit and capit and ducit,
I wouldn't know.
you wouldn't know.
And the book is, remember, third person singular. So it's only when the book gets into third person plural that you would know the difference.
And
then you'll see the difference, right?
yeah, and to a certain extent, Michael, you don't need to, you don't need to sweat it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Because they're all the same. Now, later on, you may need to, as we introduce the other persons.
But when you go to conjugate the verb and then it has the way it's conjugated, then it has a particular, and then the way it's used in the story or in a sentence is like, okay, it kind of like changes the whole, it doesn't change the whole meaning, but it's, I guess it changes the mood of the meeting. Like I say, I'm struggling on this stuff.
Well, no, it's just a different verb form. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, like,
I get the verb, but it's the form that's blowing my mind. You know, if that makes sense. I guess.
well, right now, everything is present tense.
Okay, thank God for that.
And everything is indicative except
Yeah,
when
and exactly, and everything's indicative. So, right at the moment, it doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and so don't get too wrapped around the axle. This will, let's see, this is chapter 10. Later on, we will be introducing more verb forms. And so look at it this way. This is the artillery barrage. I'm kind of softening you up before the marine landing for the verbs. But also this will be easier because you know, okay, so I say quid agis. Quid you've had. Agis, you've seen agit, which can mean all sorts of things, but literally quid agis means what is happening, what's up, what's going on, how are things. I mean, there's a number of ways to think of that, but that's third person. So if you want to say I do well, vale o bene, now you got to fall back to first person. And if I want to say valesne bene, are you doing well, then I need to do second. So if we're going to have a little more conjugation, or sorry, if we're going to have a little more conversation, we got to do more conjugation, I guess. So I'm going to introduce these. All right. As I said, don't sweat them too much yet, but just kind of put them over the side and just be aware of them. Okay. And as we said, okay, if it ends in a T, third person. If it ends in an N, sorry, third person singular. If it ends in an NT, third person plural. Okay. Well, now I'm going to tell you, well, if it ends in an O, it's first person. If it ends in an S, second person singular.
All the way across the board. Yeah.
And if it ends in a moose, by the way, it is not a moose, the thing with anti, by the way. It is a moose. Then it is we. And if it's a tis, which by the way is similar, yeah, I mean, the second person ends in S, singular, and second person plural ends in S. The difference is that's just a pure S, and this is a tis. And then, of course, third person is our NT. So, you know, I would, if you have time, and again, I want everybody to get caught up first, but if you have time, just write these out a couple times to get the feel for what they are. Okay.
That's where my little whiteboard thingy came in real handy over the past few weeks.
Would I do like just the prima first and then the secunda?
Well, okay, that's the way I'd do it. I'd say laudo, laudas, laudat, laudamus, laudatus, laudant.
Okay.
Again, in my mind, when I say laudo, I think I praise. I don't say I praise in my mind, but
you know it is. Yeah.
It's okay. For example, if I gave you okay, we all know what a dog is. Okay. So when I say dog, you have a mental abstract image of a dog. Correct. You don't translate it. I mean, it goes from the verb, the verbal or the auditory or the written straight into the concept of dog. Similar to the word canine. I hope everybody knows that a canine is a dog. So,
Mhm.
well, unless it's teeth and you're Teresa and you're missing, but that's a different story, right? So, again, if you see the word canine, you don't translate it into dog. You have the same mental image. So if I say canis, don't think, that is the word for dog, and therefore that's what he's talking about. When I say canis, have that mental image of a dog.
Right, exactly.
And that
And
will,
we also have to get the mental image of the accusative, like throwing something to the dog and stuff. So canis is great to know, but we also have to have the
yes,
abstract thought processes behind all the different actions that go to different verb tenses and stuff.
yes, yes, yes. And that takes practice. But the same is with the verbs. Laudo, laudas, laudat, laudamus, laudatus, laudant. The standard word, the one that was standard for many, many years was amo, I love. Amo, amas, amat, amamus, amatus, amat. And there are even books by that title, amo, amas, amat. Some of them are, what's the word I want? Parodies on the study of Latin, for that matter. So, but I would, write some of these down to begin to incorporate them. As I said, do your homework first, but work on these.
Michael,
And, yeah,
another thing on the the temptation when you look at the I stem third and the fourth is to say, well, they have exactly the same endings, and they are spelled exactly the same, but the macrons are different, and that's just one of those things where you say, oh, okay, I need to pay attention to the macrons.
yeah, that's true. Copio, short I, audio, long I. Yeah,
I mean, the spelling is exactly the same,
right.
but the pronunciation's different because of the macrons.
Yeah. Well, and the macrons are there for training wheels.
Right.
So, but yeah, you're right. Capimus, audimus. And in fact, that's important because capimus, the accent is on the ka. That's not long, that's not long. So we go to the third syllable, capimus. Whereas this one is long, so we say audimus. The accent is on the mid syllable. So, and the same, of course, is the passive. Okay. I would work
What's the
on
difference? What's the
these
difference
guys
between
first.
what's the difference? The nos and the vos? What's again? Refresh my mind.
Oh, ego, I. Oh, okay. Did I do that in both cases? Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh,
You can do
okay.
that word for me.
Well, you see, I think in both languages, so I write them both down randomly. I'm sorry about that. I'm just glad Alex is here to catch my silly type.
I'm here to be the laughter in the background.
Yes, yes. The snickering. You can be the snickering monk.
Oh,
That's a coffee, by the way. So anyway. Okay, ego is I,
Mhm.
tu is you, thou, you, is id is he, she, it, nos is us.
Mhm.
Okay, and vos is y'all, and then excuse me, ae or or ea is they.
well,
And we've been
actually,
using some of these.
nos actually is we here, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that what I said? Nos?
You said
No.
us.
No, you said us.
Oh, well, okay.
Confused.
It can
So
also be us.
which is us? Both, right?
No, well, okay, it's both.
In this context, Michael, it's we.
Yeah, it's we.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Sed libera nos a malo, but deliver us from evil. So I haven't filled out all the forms. Whoops, let me go back up. I haven't filled out all of the full declension for these.
Mhm.
But ego is nominative, me is accusative, tu is nominative, te is accusative, nos is nominative, and nos is accusative. Sed libera nos a malo, deliver us from evil. And vos is the same way. Maybe I'll try and
So
remember.
they're interchangeable, nos and vos?
No, nos is us, we, and
Okay.
vos is y'all. This is
Yeah.
first person, second person, third, first, second, third, plural.
Okay, so vos is like second person then, is what you're
Yes.
saying. Okay, got it.
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
probably I'll make a note to put first, second, third. Well, I guess okay, I guess I can put a plural and singular there. I did let's see.
Hey,
All right.
Michael,
Yeah.
do you think there's a connection between, y'all is a Southern expression and the fact that Rome is in Southern Italy? Just
No,
wondering.
no, not at all.
Okay.
Other than in English, we've lost our second person. Well, our second person singular has been subsumed into second person plural. So
Let's put it this way. I think y'all sounds a whole lot better than use guys.
these guys.
I would agree with that.
Hmm.
I would agree with that. All right. So anyway, same thing. Oh, same thing for sorry, this is vox passiva. Okay, modus imperativus. We've had that. And then lastly, modus infinitivus, vox activa et passiva. Active and passive voice. Well, we've seen laudare, habere, ducere, capere, and audire. But there is a passive version of these. Laudari, haberi, duci, capi, and audiri. So this is really straightforward. Basically take the
It looks like they hold the E in the vox activa throughout.
yeah,
And then then the passive, they drop it and they put a I with
they put an I in there, and then the spoilers are the third conjugation there, in that they drop the ere and they
yeah, but the second one they don't. They just it's just a straight I.
yeah.
Yeah. And then from third on it looks like it's with the macrons and macrons.
And so laudare is to praise. Habere, to have, ducere, to lead, capere, to take, and audire, to hear. So when we go to the passive voice, laudare, to praise, laudari is to be praised. Okay. Then habere is to have, and haberi is to be had. Now, unfortunately, in the vernacular, to be had in English means also to be scammed. That's not what we mean here. So that's a little unfortunate. Ducere, to lead. Duci, to be led. Capere, to take. Capi, to be taken. Audire, to hear, and audiri, to be heard. And there's a famous line in the Bible that Jesus came to serve, not to be served. And to serve is ministrare. So then we would say ministrare, non ministrari. He came to serve, not to be served. Bono est laudare. I would say bonum, assuming you want to say it is a good thing to be praised. Is that what you're trying to say, Teresa? Yeah, bono est laudare is, I don't know what that means. Because bono is either dative or ablative, and no, it doesn't make any sense as bono. At least to me. All right. So now let's go back to possum, vult, and necesse. Cum infinitivus activus et passivi. Sorry. Activis et passivis. Possunt habere infinitivum actum vel passivum. So we can have either active or passive infinitives. Potest videre pilum. She is able to see the ball. Pilla potest videri. The ball is able to be seen. Okay.
Wait, shouldn't that be in the accusative?
Nope. You mean pilla in the second one?
Yeah,
No.
you sure?
Yep.
Okay,
Why would you want accusative?
because in the text, they do that. They put it in the accusative. At least that's what I thought they did.
Not with videri.
Oh, well,
See, we switched from an active infinitive to a passive infinitive.
right.
So something is able to be seen. The something is the subject, right? So therefore it is in the nominative case.
Okay,
Now, when we hit necesse, yeah, there's a dative in there, but let's leave that one last. Okay. Pater vult videre filum. And the father wishes or wants to see the son. Filius vult videre, sorry, videri a patre. The son wants to be seen by the father, unless he's Marcus, in which case he probably doesn't, but that's a different story. But think about it. Look at this. Pater vult videre filium. Hold on a second. My mouth is super dry. Let me take a little drink here. Thank you. All right. Filius vult videri, the son wants to be seen by the father. Okay, if you remember, a patre. Take a for by, or op if there's a vowel there. So
We don't put a macron on the E on patre? Patre? I know patre and matre, I guess we don't do that, right?
no, there it's a short e.
Yeah, no, but it's a part of a prepositional phrase. And I thought on prepositions or ablative, you put the macron. Yes? Not
On
on what word? I mean, proper names or what? I'm losing my head.
okay. Let's see. Do I have? All right. No. Okay.
Oh,
Here's the third declension: masculine and feminine,
right.
non-I stem nouns, because patre has no eyes.
Correct.
So rege, see, shorty,
Mhm.
patre, shorty, mater, matre. No, it's a shorty in the ablative.
Got it. Okay.
And oh, we don't have the Gloria, do we? Never mind. That would be dative anyway. So yeah, so patre, matre. Necesse est videre pilum. It is necessary to see the ball. Now, we have a little bit different form in necesse when we convert that to a passive voice verb. Necesse est pile videri. It is necessary for the ball to be seen. So we need the dative in there. And the reason is this necesse is actually well, it functions like the subject, or necesse est. It is necessary. So that's the subject and the verb there. And so this is for the ball. You would not put a accusative in there because it's not, you're not doing something to the ball directly. Rather, it is a passive voice verb. And so we have a dative case in there. So necesse est sort of breaks that pattern a little bit. Any questions?
Yeah, the dative. So you're saying Pele is dative?
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what dative was now. I'm sorry, Michael. My mind's like just trying to stay away from.
Okay, let's look at nouns. Okay, the dative is the indirect object.
Okay.
So I hit the ball to him, to Fred, to Francis, to Laura, to Michael, to Alex. That would be the indirect object. The direct object would be the ball, since it's the ball that's being hit. And in the case of first declension, it is an AE. So
Okay.
for singular. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So could I ask you a question?
Sure.
The book has this kind of odd sentence. It's Dei ab hominibus neque videri neque audiri possunt. I couldn't figure out.
Okay. Yeah, let's
it's
see.
in-
That is in
It's in the text.
yeah, I know. You don't happen to recall what line. I think it's in.
It's on page 82. And
Do you have a line number?
a line in the text.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about.
Oop.
I'm not talking about the Familia Romana. I'm sorry. I was talking about the companion. I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay. Hold on. Let me finish logging back in here. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get the companion. Well, actually, they had a whoops. Out of order. They had
Yeah, it may be.
very similar to that in the Familia Romana.
Yeah, it may be there.
All right. Here, let me get the Familia Romana up. Let me get my print copy. I'll find it in a second. Yeah, it's a fun little sentence. I think we went through that before Christmas. But hey, it's where they talk about Mercury. Let's see. Mercury. Pisces.
The thing that confused me was I was interpreting Dei in the genitive, but I gather it must be the plural. And that kind of threw me, the plural nominative.
Yeah, was it like Dei ab hominibus neque videre neque audiri possunt? Maybe
Yeah, so it's I guess the gods.
yeah, that's line
are neither
chapter 2, line 40. Here, let me hop to the the text here. Give me just a second. Lexio secunda. Right here. Whoop. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah. That was one of those. I didn't have the context of the book. If I had seen the context of the book, then I would have known that it was plural gods. When I saw it in the companion, I couldn't figure it out because I was thinking dei was the genitive, but obviously they're referring to dei as the plural nominative.
Yes,
Is that right?
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
The gods,
That's a good sentence for what we're talking about.
yeah. The gods, and notice there's the negatives in there. So
Neither
the
nor.
gods are not able to be heard nor seen, or are not able to be seen nor heard
By men.
by men. Yeah, would be the way to unwind that in English.
So the ab hominibus is the ablative.
Yep, it's the ablative of agent. You know, who did it?
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. Would it be like on line 30 in the Familia Romana? On page, if it helps you, 70?
This line?
Yeah, it's, Mercury, no, Mercury, yeah, right there, Mercury, yeah,
Mercurius imperia deorum
ad
ad
hominem,
homines portat.
right.
Mercury portat carries
Mhm.
imperia, the orders, or we
Yeah.
get of the gods
Mhm,
to men.
mhm.
So that's not an ablative, since it's ad homines, but rather ad means to, towards, and ad takes the accusative.
Oh, so ad hominis is the hominis is two, meaning motion two, so it's,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, she's,
Hominis is third declension noun in the nominative plural, right? No, I guess, excuse me.
No, in this case, it's accusative.
Accusative plural.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
but it's third declension, right?
Yes.
Accusative plural.
And I'll skip ahead a little bit. Declinatio tertia. So we see that the plural pluralis nominativus ends in es, et pluralis accusativus ends in es.
mhm.
And for that matter, well, yeah, so these two forms are identical. And you say, oh, that's terrible. Well, the same is true for neuter. Here we go. In neuter, the nominative ends in a plural, and the accusative ends in a plural. And you have the same problem in the singular. Nominative and accusative ends in um for second conjugation neuter noun.
Second declension neuter.
Pardon?
Second declension neuter.
Yes. Did I say conjugation again? I think I did, didn't
Oh,
I?
no, you said neuter.
No, I mean, I think I said declension. Sorry, I think I said conjugation instead of declension.
Yeah, I was just saying that you see that more than just the third declension. It's in the
Oh,
second.
yes. No, that was my point, is you see it here and you see it here. So.
But I mean, specifically, you're talking about third person plural, not third person, excuse me, nominative and accusative plural.
Right.
In the third declension, and then you see the same in the plural, nominative and accusative in the second declension.
Right. Yep.
Wow.
So going back to,
We're kind of like rehashing this, but like I
So-
said, even Alex, I'm sitting there going, I'm glad Alex is asking questions too, because it's like,
Yeah.
you know, this is a very difficult chapter. I'll tell you right now.
it is, yeah, there's not so much a lot of grammar as they've given you a couple of things And now they can build an entire house out of it.
I know, but when they jump from like the accusative to the to the dative, it's the same word, but just, like I say, it's the endings and it's like, and then I'm trying to read it and I go, well, what are they trying to say? So I don't know. Okay, but it's slowly but surely, hopefully it'll sink in.
Yeah.
Um,
Put the book under your pillow and sleep on it and see if that helps any.
you know what I do? I got your sessions at night and I sleep while they're on. I'm
Ah,
thinking, it
okay.
might work. Yeah.
Well,
But,
it's good to see they're good for something if you at least get a good night's sleep out of it.
I think that's what's keeping me awake.
Okay, so let's see. We
So
got through
You
the
were saying that necesse est takes the dative.
if it's a passive voice verb, because okay. It is necessary, necesse est, to see videre the ball. Okay. So the ball is the one that's receiving the action of being seen. Okay.
Well,
So,
it doesn't have to be in the passive.
yeah, in the passive, it's a little trickier because you don't say it is necessary to be seen the ball. Okay. Yeah. If we get rid of if you wouldn't say, okay, it is necessary to see the ball. And if we make that passive, it is necessary to be seen the ball, doesn't make any sense. So what you really want to say, it is necessary for the ball to be seen. And so that needs to switch over to a dative case. And that is a new use of dative in this chapter, by the way.
I was gonna say, when they start like they do, they switch cases, at Pelem and Pele. I'm sitting there going, oh, okay, I know what the word Pele means, but what,
Well, what they're showing you is how the word morphs as a function
exactly.
where it is in the sentence.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
All
they'll
right.
have one sentence, I'll get them one sentence, and the next sentence they'll do the little hooky hoo and switch it around a bit. It's like, what? Wait a minute.
Well, now you know how the batters feel in a baseball game. Pitcher switches it up.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Michael,
Yeah.
just one other note about what you were just talking about. In the companion, there is an occasion where you have where you have the active infinitive, and you take the dative, and it's something that they call the dative of interest.
Oh, is that in
they-
this section?
Yeah, dative of interest, you're right. No,
Yeah.
that's what I
So
mean.
they, for example, this is the sentence they use: spirare necesse est homini. So I assume it is necessary for
Man to breathe.
to breathe. So that's where
Oh, yeah.
you do have the not the passive, but the active infinitive.
Yep.
So I'm just suggesting you might add that.
Good point. I was thinking in the passive at the time, but you're right.
Well, I mean, that's the most often way you would see it, but you can also have it, the dative in the active as well.
Okay. SP.
Spirare.
A. Whoop.
Spirare.
Yeah, no, that's why I can't. I'm hitting the wrong keys. Let's see. That should be
Well, it was, I
hominy.
mean, the example they used was hominy.
Yeah.
Hominy. Which is all men, so. Yeah, but that S is singular, so.
Well, hold on. Let's let me
They put the verb at the beginning of the
yeah,
sentence.
that's why I'm rearranging here. Give me a minute here.
Right.
There we go.
That's how they did it.
exactly.
Okay, it is, whoops, necessary for men to read.
So you got that same for that you
Yep.
do in the
Oh.
passive in the next sentence.
Yep.
So that's why it takes the dative.
Yep.
Well, how many, that's, yeah, well, it's dative too, right? Yeah, dative of interest.
It
right,
is.
right, right.
Yeah, the only difference, Michael, is this is a case where you have the active infinitive, and then the next one is where you have the passive infinitive.
Ah, okay. Hmm.
Michael,
Okay.
you have a typo. Instead of for men the breathe, it should be for men to breathe.
Ooh. So it is. Really can't take out the for there, can we? There. Really should take those.
And Michael, would, sperare?
Oh,
S-
actually, no, I want to leave the quotes in there because there
I
is
mean,
no
I has a micron, doesn't it?
spirare.
Yeah, should that be SPI with a macron?
Oh, over
Sure.
the I.
Over the I.
Yeah, that's how I'm reading in the book. I mean, I'm getting confused. You have short.
There we go.
And
I
I
did
don't know
that to see if you were paying attention, Michael.
Good job, Michael.
Well, does that make a difference? I mean, if it was, if you didn't, if you had the short, like what you had originally,
It
Well,
makes
you
a
pronounce
difference
it
in
different. I don't know if
pronunciation.
there's two different verb forms.
but it would, I mean, it might be pronounced different, but it would, the concept is still the same.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Spiro. Okay. Nope, there is no spiro with a short I.
So it's long I all the time.
Well, okay, the reason I checked, remember that malam,
Yes, sir.
short A, is evil.
Yes,
Malam, long A, is an apple.
correct.
So the change in the vowel does change the meaning of the word in that case. So that's why I wanted to double check, make sure there was no spirare as opposed to a spirare.
Okay.
Yeah, some might accuse the former vice president of not being able to breathe, but I think he did.
President. maybe. You got the wrong one. It's the president that can't breathe.
No, I was just referring to somebody in the past.
Yes.
Somebody, okay. Okay.
Anyway, all right, let's move on. Audet, audent, audie, sorry, audio or audera, or the forms we have is audet and audent. To dare, to have courage, to etiam infinitivum accipit. It too can take an infinitive. Audet cantare male. He dares to sing badly. Audet ascendere arborum. He dares to climb the tree. So same general construction.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, to contrast with audire. Yeah.
Yeah. And the first time I read that in this section, I read audit. And believe me, it made no sense whatsoever.
What is the conjugation on that?
It is third. Sorry,
Okay.
second.
No, I'm saying, okay, so it's audeo.
Same as habeo.
Okay.
Second. Yeah. Second. There we go.
So it'll look like that in the dictionary. It'll be adeo and then in parentheses adere.
Audet, audemus, audetus, audent.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is. See, second, and there is the conjugation. Audeo, audes, audet. Audemus, audetus, audent.
Hmm.
Not to be confused with al dente of your noodles.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, this is something that is a bit different from English. Latin has a special construction for verbs of ability or perception. English has a similar construction to express the same thing, but it does not use accusative infinitives. Construct, okay, to construct, that Latin use. For example, pater, filium, which is accusativus, vocare, infinitivus, audit. The father hears the son calling, et accure, which is an infinitive, videt. So in English, we have to throw in often some extra words such as that. I got some more examples here. Plura exempla, more examples. Puere quellum canora vident. The boys see the girl is singing. In English, you might say the boys see that the girl is singing. Or, perfectly equivalent, is the boys see the girl sings, or the boys see that the girl sings. Or you could also say the boys see that the girl does sing. So all three of these are equivalent to this up here. So the key thing there is you have the verb of ability or perception,
Mhm.
and you have what it is that's the action that's going on. And then you drop the what you would think is the subject. In fact, in English, really, the girl is singing, the girl is the subject of that clause. But Latin instead puts it in the accusative, and you just put it in one nice tiny sentence. So, and then even more examples. Marcus quintum ad terram cadere videt. Marcus sees Quintus fall to the earth. Okay. Emilia, what question?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Emilia filium sum Iulio portare videt. And by the way, we can put in a passive voice infinitive as well. Emilia sees her son being carried by Julius. Emilia quintum Iulio in lecto poni aspicit. Emilia sees Quintus put in the bed by Julius.
Got a bunch of different declensions. I mean, cases.
Cases.
Yes. Yes.
On the first sentence, how did you translate cadere again?
Fall.
Okay. The interesting thing is it's what I notice is that it's not translated literally to fall. It's translated fall or falling.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you can't use the infinitive there in English. I mean, Marcus sees Quintus to fall to the earth.
Or falling to the earth.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, well,
The point is that the infinitive doesn't always translate as to whatever the verb is.
in this case, yes. Yes. More often than not, it does, but in this case, no, it does not at all.
Hmm.
So. So. Any questions there?
Yeah, those last two sentences are interesting sentences from a standpoint of cases.
Yeah, and so we could say,
You've got nominative, you've got accusative, you've got ablative.
let's see here. We could say, let's do this. Quintus. There. And let's do it this way.
Yeah, but what happened to Amelia?
Hold on. Well, we voted her off the island temporarily. Hold on. Let me get this done here. It becomes a Julius.
Mm-hmm.
And we can put the quintum. Whoop. We need
No, M-U-M, yeah.
in lecto ponens. So let's look at these two guys. Julius quintum in lecto ponent. Julius puts Quintus in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, we can also do it. Whoops.
You mean
there we go.
Passive. Yeah.
Quintus Iulio in lecto ponitur. Quintus is put in the bed by Julius.
Mhm.
But we're not talking about those two, as Michael points out. We're talking about Amelia. What did Amelia see? Amelia aspicit, saw, spied, observed, a couple different ways to translate that. Quintum Iulio in lecto poni. Okay, so really, we've taken this. How did I get an extra? There we go. Pony tour. There we go. We've taken this and converted it into that Amelia saw this action. And to do that,
He makes Quintus and the accusative.
and we convert ponitur to the passive voice infinitive.
Because she's the one, because Quintus is being seen by Amelia, you have to
Yes.
put it in the accusative.
Yes.
What's in the accused? What?
Quintum.
Okay, Michael, you see how he's gone from Quintus Julio in lecto ponitur. So,
Right.
So Quintus is being put in bed, and he's also being put in bed in that sentence that begins with Amelia. But because you've got Amelia seeing him,
She
it's
becomes
not
now the
Quintus.
subject of the sentence in the sentence.
Well, you have to move Quintus from the nominative to the accusative.
Correct. He's like receiving it, right?
Yeah. He's the one being seen. Right.
Yes, thank you. That's what I meant. Oh, gosh.
Okay. All right, let's finish up here. I don't think there's any. Oh, Nemo. Or sorry, Nemo.
The fish.
Oh, I should say Nemo, long E. I've been contaminated by Disney movies and Jules Verne.
There you go.
Nemo means no one or nobody. So Nemo Domi said nos puli is nobody's home but us chickens. Maybe I should copy a few more chickens.
There you go.
There we go. Nemo, nobody. Domi, locative, at home. Said nos puli. Now, Captain Nemo, I don't know if, now Jules Verne was a very literate person, so I suspect he chose that as a joke or something, but Captain Nemo in the Jules Verne novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was a real nobody. So maybe you can keep that straight that way. Anyway, we're coming up on 9. I have put Whoop, was there a question?
No. I just can't believe it, how we haven't even gone into this stuff yet, and seems
So-
like we're only halfway through it.
Yeah, so.
See, you guys wanted to buzz, somebody wanted to buzz through. Oh, no, chapter 10. No, we're just about done.
Well, hold on, Michael. Just wait a minute.
On that last one, on nobody's at home, but it's chickens, you don't have to have the verb, because I've always thought about locative as requiring the to be verb, but I guess you don't have to.
Now, this is nobody. Well, okay. We could put an est in there if you wanted to.
Okay.
I left it out.
Nobody is home. Okay.
Yeah, nobody home but us
It
chickens.
works either way, I think.
It works either way, in both in English and in Latin.
Yeah, I was just trying to refresh my memory about the locative.
Yeah. Locative is used. We saw it in cities.
Yeah,
For location.
Yeah, for a location.
Mhm.
but
Um,
it can't be country, right?
yeah. Now, domus, which means home, is one of those words, excuse me, that is not a country or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Or city location. Well, it is a location in the sense of, but it's not a proper name location. And it takes the locative as well. There's only a handful of them, and this is the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I'm
That's right. I
sure.
thought like, at first I thought, well, wait a minute, you got like more than one home? But no,
No,
now
all right.
that with the
Okay, now before you,
chickens. What
before
about
we
that?
send you back to the hospital, Michael.
Oh, good, please.
All right,
go
let me go to domus. All right. What does it say up there?
Feminine fourth declension.
Fourth declension. You haven't had fourth declension yet, okay?
Okay.
So I'll give you a hint. Domus is singular and domus is plural. Now they don't put macrons on this, but
Mhm.
the difference is that the plural form will have a macron over the U. And so I had to use, well, we don't have the, well, if you remember, the locative is similar to the genitive, if you remember that far back. So that is why I chose domi. But don't worry about it because we haven't had that word yet. But
Okay.
you know, I'm
That's
trying
right,
to, I'm expanding your horizons here, hopefully.
Let's say what was plural then that ORUM.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
the case you're changing. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. So anyway, here's the third declension. We've kind of gone through those a couple times. We're
Mhm.
almost out of time. So, pensum. Amficite capitulum unum per capitulum decem. Whoops, sorry. Anybody want to take a stab at what that means?
Something about per chapter 10, maybe complete the homework?
Yeah, complete chapter 1 through chapter 10. Conficite is imperative. It is from con facio.
Mhm.
But when they put it together, they make the A and I. So facit means do, make, finish. So conficite really means to finish. Now here's one. Necesse est exercitia agere.
Oh. You need to do the exercises. It's necessary
Yes,
to do the exercises.
exactly.
Say that again. It's necessary.
It is necessary to do the exercises.
Yeah, it is necessary to do the exercises.
Yeah.
Right.
So this, by the way, I have this slide at the end of all the classes, by the way. All I've done is translate it into Latin. Okay. Sequens novissimum. That's the way of saying the following class. It's kind of novissimum or novus means new, latest. And so the way they said the next class was to say the newest, meaning the thing that was coming up next. So really, this means the next class that follows. Anyway, we'll have the 18th. Again, do finish up chapter 10. And I'll
And what
give
are we
you guys a
doing? Wait, what are we doing on the 18th then? Just so I could.
class.
The same, we're still on 10th, right? Hopefully.
Well, now we're getting to that. You're getting ahead of yourself, Michael.
Capitulum undicem, which means we're going to begin chapter 11. Right?
Yeah. Or benedicite. I got to give you guys a choice. What in the heck? No, all right. I think I know who already knows this answer, but does anybody know what the benedicite is?
Oh. Is it the grace before meals?
No. Close.
Okay.
It
Does start out with Benedict Dominos. So no, this is benedicite. Vel canticum quatuor pueri.
Oh, okay.
Let me
Right.
bring it up here. Okay. Let me pop over. I'll show you what it is. Whoops. All right. Table of no, I want my index. Index. Okay. Benedici. Here. Oh, sorry. 3 young men. I always thought there were 4. Oh well.
Well, the fourth one appeared in the midst of the flames.
Yeah. Anyway. Capitulum, Adam, is chapter. There is a canticle of the 3 young men taken from the book of Daniel.
How
And
about
the cool thing about this, by the way, is if you tell your Protestant friends about it, they'll go, huh? Because that particular section in Daniel is not in their version of the Bible. Benedicite, this is a song of thanksgiving. It is used at lauds for Sundays and feast days. It is also used as a prayer after Mass. It is basically kind of like celebrating the creation and the reflection of creation and creation as a reflection of God's goodness. It has exactly one verb, benedicite, okay. Well, all right, laudate et super exalta. I guess it has a couple of verbs in there. But these are all imperative, okay? And we've had all of the cases. I don't think there's any fourth declension. Oh, okay, spiritu. All right, it's figures. But mostly nouns, okay? So we can go through. What I will do is I will assemble a vocabulary sheet for all of this for everybody's benefit. And the idea here is we'll do this next week. And that will hopefully give you guys 2 things. One, you dip your toe into scripture, but also a canticle that is used in the liturgy. And you're going to get a whole lot of nouns, okay? Some of them you've had. Benedicite sol et luna, Domino. Benedicite stellae caeli, Domino. Bless, O sun and moon, the Lord. Bless the Lord, ye stars of heaven. A couple different ways to translate that. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not terribly difficult. And since it's from my website, you can always look if you get stuck.
And you mean this thing here, right?
Yeah.
That we're-
So what I would
That's your
propose,
website.
yeah,
Okay.
what I'm giving you the choice of
Of what?
is we can either begin chapter 11, which may put some of you farther behind, okay? Because you're struggling to catch up. I realize the holidays is very disruptive.
So
I think I only got like a quarter done of what I wanted to do over the holidays. And that's
Mhm.
probably being generous to myself. Or we can actually take a passage from scripture and read it and break it down and understand it, and maybe even use it, because it is a prayer. It is used as a prayer after Mass, by the way.
Well, if
I
I
like
have
the idea of going through the prayer, because I mean, I do that every Sunday with my missal, try to translate the Latin scripture and stuff. So this would be great exercise for that.
I would agree. Let's go with the Benedicte.
Where,
Benedicite,
where is that?
Benedicite, I'm sorry.
soft C. Pardon?
Where in the preface is that located?
Oh, well, it, okay. It is under, well, the way I got there, quite frankly, is I went to the index and looked for it.
Okay.
Let's see, what is it under? Oh, it is under the praise of the Trinity. Okay.
Yeah, but the index is simple enough. I just want to make sure I can find it.
Well, this is where you see the Gloria, the Sanctus, and the Te Deum.
Mhm.
And whoop, yeah, there it is. The the Trisagium Angelicum. And,
Oh,
we might want to do, well,
the angels?
yes, yeah, the angelic Trisagium. Yeah, it's a hymn of devotion to the Blessed Trinity. And let's,
And the angels were singing that to the Trinity, right? I must assume.
yeah, there's a few things you haven't had in here yet.
So
But the
it's-
Benedicite,
All this stuff is, I didn't even know there was these prayers you're showing me. I'm going, huh? What?
oh yeah, you should go visit my website.
Oh, okay.
This is the best website out there for this, for what Michael does. There's no comparison.
Yeah. And I just reorganized it under the hood so that I could add a bunch more new material. I got
Mhm.
3 really nice prayer books for Christmas,
Oh, wow.
the 1600s.
Oh, cool.
And before you wonder how I could afford prayer books from the 1600s, Google has, bless their hearts, scanned a bunch of libraries. And you can find the scans online, but they're a bit awkward to use. And a company in India, of all places, picks a number of these out as significant, what do they call it? Significant cultural and
Icon?
historical value. And they take the scan, they clean it up, and then they print it in a book and bind it up. And so it is an actual book. And I got the Antidotarius Anime. I think I've got a copy of the Hortulus Anime coming. And the the Nucleus Catecholicae Devotionis, which is the might be say the core of Catholic devotion. And it's just got all sorts of great stuff in it. So
So did did you actually order, is it like the books you're gonna get, or
yeah,
did you
I got the books. Yeah.
PDF? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're reproductions, sort of.
Do you know what the price? Just curious.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just a, Kentucky windage.
$30 maybe, a little more, a little less, depending upon which one.
Yeah, that's okay.
I could one of these days I'll let you guys know the names of some of the books.
Oh, cool.
Thing is, there is not one word of English in this book. Okay. Not one. It was these were printed for Catholics as prayer books.
Mhm.
And Catholics used to pray a lot in Latin. And certainly the educated ones, which would be the middle class, would have been educated in Latin, as well as, of course, the upper classes and the nobility. And so there were lots and lots of books that were printed for them for their benefit. What happened is after Henry VIII split with the church, and there was a general hostile attitude to Catholics, which really lasted for centuries. In fact, Catholicism was outlawed there for quite a while. People sort of stopped praying in Latin because, hey, you know, if you're praying in Latin, you're one of those papists, right? So that's when the gradual switch to the vernaculars in at least amongst English speakers occurred. For other countries, it had a lot to do with the rise of nationalism in their countries. So so anyway, no, these were still when Latin.
And of course, the French Revolution.
Yeah, well, well, that's part of the rise of nationalism. But yeah, exactly, Adam. So anyway, but we're getting out of off topic. So all right, I will do the Benedicite. I will set up the Benedicite. So that, oh, and by the way, see, there is a Benedicamus. So that's third. Sorry, that's
First person?
first person plural.
Right.
But you've had a lot of these words, you know, Benedicamus Patrem et Filium. Let us bless the Father and the Son, cum Sancto Spiritu, with the Holy Spirit. Laudemus et super exaltemus eum in secula. Let us praise and exalt him above all forever. So now I will mention one thing. Some of the verb forms are going to be a little funny. Laudemus. Anyone was in this class last year, you may not answer this next question. Unless, of course, nobody gets it. Then I'll see if you get how much you guys. If you recall, I had up here laudamus. So why is that laudamus there, but laudemus there?
It's the imperative.
No, laudate or laude, or sorry, lauda or laudate would be the imperative.
Was that future?
Nope.
No, I'd say it's first person active.
Oh, it's second. It's
Or se-
Uh,
oh yeah,
First
us,
person plural. Yeah,
First
first
person
person
plural.
plural.
Hmm.
Now, okay, anybody from the last class? We really didn't cover this in the last class, so. This is called the subjunctive.
Oh, yes. That was my next guess.
Yeah. I'll talk about it next time, okay?
Okay.
The difference is,
That's the let us part.
yeah, that is the let us part. Yes. Laudamus means we are praising, you know, we're doing it right now. But if I want us to praise, I can certainly say lauda or laudate, you know. So in fact, we have the Benedicite all over the place, you know, bless the Lord, bless the Lord, bless the Lord. But the laudemus means let us do something. And you're going to, okay, oremus, oramus, excuse me, I got it backwards. Oramus means we are praying or we pray.
But
The
oremus.
priest says oremus, which means let us pray. So the subjunctive involves a vowel change in that base conjugation vowel. Don't get too wrapped around the axle about it. We'll just sort of say, we'll pretend, you know, oh, there's the laudate up there, the regular form, but I'll point that out. There are a few places where you, in fact, let's see where the let is here. I'm going to find let. Okay, there's one. All right, there's a few. There's a few places, so it'll be worth it. The other thing I wanted to mention, and okay, yeah, we're getting into overtime, is there's something called, and I'll put this in an email, there's something called the Alpheus reading tool. I don't know if you can see that it is now on my
Yes.
browser. You can come over here to a Latin word and double click on it, and it will tell you what it is.
Oh wow.
Now, this only works on non-mobile devices, so it's not on iPhone, not on Android, but it is on any of the browsers on Windows or Mac. And I'll stick that in the my next email as to where to get that.
Wait, how do you access it again?
Okay, it's
But
a browser extension.
Oh, okay.
And at least on Safari, I don't know how it does it on Windows. In Safari, you just click on it, you see the little red on, and then you find your Latin word and double click on it.
Oh, nice.
And you see that it's coming up with all sorts of words about lightning and flashing and shining and stuff. And you find out that, whoops, let me get out of the way. And sure enough, whoops. Fulgura et nubes, lightnings and clouds. So, but we've had looks. We've had tenebrae. No, actually, have we had look? No, I don't think we've had looks yet, but we have had tenebrae. Lightning and clouds. We've had clouds. So you've had a lot of the words in here. So anyway, so getting back and finishing up, putting it all together here. So work on getting caught up through chapter 10. If the pensum, if the pensum are slowing you down in past chapters, I'm not going to say don't do them, but if you're far enough behind, then just do the fill in the blanks to get caught up. Let's put it that way. But get caught up. We'll do the Benedicite next week, and I will come out with a vocabulary list and the Latin, and we'll go through it. And the bad news is when we do this, you're suddenly going to get a whole lot more vocabulary words. So that is a downside to it. Any questions? Then we'll wrap it up. All right. Mute everybody. Oratio finalis. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum. Adveniat regnum tuum. Fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie. Et imite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris. Et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. And with that, I shall